best girl would do about $14,000 a month.
Oh my God!
And I give her $1,000 a week. I give her.
This is almost where I kind of felt bad. Because they were like, can we meet? I sent you $200,000. Can we meet? Can we meet? Can we meet? And the problem
What was
is,
the most that one person sent to a model? Total.
million?
Wow.
They'd want to meet the chick, right? I only did a meeting once ever. I had a big customer with my best girl.
How much did that cost?
He paid 50 G's for dinner. Just dinner. It's clear it was just dinner. We booked a really nice restaurant in London. It was me, my brother, and about 4 of my other kickboxing boys on different tables. He doesn't know what we look like, right? So he's gone to dinner. She's sitting at the table. He's sitting at dinner. He's surrounded by killers, bro. You didn't even know.
Hello my loves, welcome back to a new video. My name is Jade Shinyu and I help people reclaim back their power physically, mentally and spiritually. Now today we're going to be continuing on talking about Andrew Tate and if he is actually guilty of sex trafficking following his arrest. I'm not 100% sure if he has been released. I know his cars, some of them have been taken in. Apparently he's been held in a cell, but I'm not 100% sure. However, when doing further research into this, I have now discovered that I believe he definitely is guilty of this, but not in the way people think. I mean, he might be, but we're going to discuss that. So there are different methods of sex trafficking. Now, when we think of sex trafficking, we always think of the most extreme methods that some people use, and that is like snatching and kidnapping women, chaining them to bed. You know, we think of the movie Taken. You know, that's the only perspective and idea that most people have when they think of sex trafficking. We just think of slavery and women being held against their will. However, there is many methods of sex trafficking. And with Andrew Tate, he has admitted himself one of the methods that he used to do it. So obviously he's a smart guy and he wouldn't be doing, you know, extreme measures. I mean, he might be, but openly, you know, he hasn't admitted that obviously. But the most efficient and smartest way to do sex trafficking is called the Loverboy Method. So this is actually a method that he used to teach on his old university hustlers website. To teach men how to become millionaires, etc., and make money. So with the Loverboy method, it's a very sinister method where men will use misogyny, abuse, and severe manipulation to meet attractive women, make them fall in love with them, and then coerce them and manipulate them to then sell themselves and do sex work and, you know, whatever the case, to make money. So then they can profit off of their hard work. So they can profit off of them. So with Andrew Tate, he himself admitted to doing this. With his old webcam business, he had 75 women working for him. And at the time, he admitted over 50% of these women were actually his girlfriends. So he had basically manipulated all these women to be selling themselves to make money for him sexually. And he also said that none of these women had ever done it before. So none of these women before meeting Andrew had ever worked as in a sex industry at all. So that just shows how good he is at manipulating people to basically doing whatever the hell he wants. So that's clear narcissism. He's clearly a narcissist, and because obviously he lacks complete empathy and remorse for the emotional damage that he would have done to these women and also men, which we'll get into later. So I'm going to read a quote now of Andrew Tate's own words of what he actually said about this. So basically he said, "My job was to meet girls, go on dates, sleep with her to test if she's quality, like a fucking car, get her to fall in love with me, where she would do anything I say, and then get her on webcam so we could become rich together." When in reality, he was taking huge cuts from the women that worked for him, like I showed you in that video. Because he's so narcissistic and entitled, and obviously lacks any sort of remorse, morals, or empathy for human beings, he would do anything in his power to get exactly what he wanted. But him admitting that literally is sex trafficking. It's emotional sex trafficking. where they use manipulation in order to get the women to sell their bodies for money. So like I showed in that video, he was only giving the women a very small percentage of the money earned. So one of his top girls was earning around 40 grand a month, and he would only pay her 4 grand a month. Now that is insanity. I have knowledge of how the sex industry works from family members, etc., owning certain businesses, like I said in my OnlyFans video. And in most cases, in most brothels with escort agencies, that sort of thing, the highest percentage that the person would take that runs the business was normally about 60 to 65%. And then the girl would get about 40 to 45%. Or if they were more fair, it was most of the time 50-50. So the girl would get 50% and the business owner would get 50%. So in order for him to be taking like a huge cut like that is so insane. It's insane how people can admire someone who is basically that narcissistic, that greedy, that cold. It's basically evil and so cruel to be treating people like that. So it's extremely worrying and scary how young boys and men admire someone like this, when the only reason he became a millionaire is because he exploited the fuck out of people. He exploited the fuck out of women. He abused them, because that is abusive. And he also exploited men, like we showed in that other video, because basically he would then get women to scam men out of hundreds of thousands of pounds, even $1 million. Because he would get the women to promise and act like that they were going to go and meet these men to go live with them. Basically what he done to women, he got the women to do to men in a different way. So he would basically get the women to scam men, promise making the men fall in love with them. So they would literally give them so much money, and basically they get the women to lie to the men constantly, making out like they're going to go on a date with them, they're going to move in with them, they're going to get married, you know, whatever the case. And these poor men would pay so much money, up to $1 million one of them paid, believing that he was going to meet one of the girls. Like, it's very easy, right, to make money in this cruel world that we live in when you are an absolute cunt, when you are a narcissist, when you exploit and abuse people. It's easy to do that and make money off it. But most human beings, we actually don't scoop that low. We actually have respect for one another. We actually want to show love to each other. So this is very worrying how people and men can basically want to be like him. They find him inspirational. And when really the only way he's made money is completely fucking over so many people. Like, what is inspirational about that? Nothing. So it's very satanic to be like that. That basically is Satanism, when you literally do whatever the fuck you want to get what you want, without caring who you stab in the back, without caring who you hurt emotionally, whose hearts you break, whose, you know, people that you basically fuck over money wise. Like, it's insane. That is basically the definition of Satanism, modern day Satanism, because there's an energy behind that. So he's basically teaching people to be sociopaths and psychopaths and narcissists to get money. It's like, that is not escaping the matrix. That's just being a cunt. Fact. Young boys should not be admiring someone like Andrew Tate. They should be admiring people, men who actually are respectful towards women, men, and themselves and other people in general. They should be admiring men who make money, you know, in a moral way, without taking shortcuts, because, you know, the easiest way is to basically, you know, to make money quick and fast, exploit people, scam people, use sex work. Those are always the easiest ways to make money, through and through. But what are you actually going to get at the end of it? You know what I mean? It's like, you will get karma for that. You will get horrendous bad karma for that. And this is probably why he is now getting arrested, if it's genuine. Because you can't escape that sort of karma. If you've gone around for years, which he did, breaking the hearts of multiple women, that in itself is horrendous. You know, manipulating them to sell their bodies, for money, for him to make, you know, to benefit off. You know, breaking the hearts of probably hundreds, thousands of men, making them waste and lose so much money, hard-earned money that they probably worked their tits off to earn. I mean, how would you feel if, you know, if you were in the shoes of those people? So he's basically exploited both sexes. So it's extremely hypocritical, like I said in the other video, for him to act like he's on men's side and, oh, men's rights and I'm sticking up for men. When his whole business was basically off the backs of exploiting and scamming men. He's a con artist, he's a fraud. And in regards to physical sex trafficking methods, when he actually would hold women hostage, you know, in his place or make them fly out to meet him, etc. There are a few reports of it as well. So there was a story that, of course, they shunned to be bullshit, like they always do, him and his brother, of a girl saying that she was held at his house against her will. And then her boyfriend was then the one who calls the police, and then there was an investigation, etc. So there's many fishy things that have gone on in regards to women actually being there against their will. So I don't know if that's 100% true. I'm not saying it is, as I haven't done enough research into it. However, it would really not surprise me if he has stooped that low, because he, again, has admitted that he has done criminal activity. So what criminal activity has he exactly done in order to be forced to flush his phone down the toilet at one time? That, again, he admitted and joked about. So many times he's boasted about breaking the law, doing shady things, and that really, his narcissism is his downfall, because he has openly admitted and snitched on himself the very shady and illegal ways that he's basically made money. And so it makes a lot of sense that he would be controlled opposition, because he, like I said in the other video, is basically teaching young men to completely sell their souls. Because when you are fucking over other people for your own gain, for your own benefit, you are selling your soul. That is basically what you're doing. You're selling out for money, for greed, for your ego, for narcissism, for lower vibrational desires. Like I said before, fast cars, fast girls, you know, that come and go, sex, drugs, alcohol, partying, all of that shit is extremely short-lived. It will not guarantee you happiness long term. It never, ever does. So actually be a good fucking person. That is toxic masculinity. That is not divine masculinity. You know, he's very inverted, unfortunately. So I'll leave it there, my loves. If you want access to my Patreon, the Goddess Coven, I will link that down below, where I have uncensored videos. I have meditations, you know, spell work, card readings, basically spiritual content as well to help better yourself. I will link that down below. If you want one-to-one help, spiritual guidance, oracle readings, I do offer that service as well. So as always, I'll also link that down below. So let me know what you think of Andrew in the comments. And until next time, my loves, I'm sending you so much love, so much light. Please like, subscribe, and don't forget to click the notification bell. And until next time, my loves, Ahimsa.